Early settlements in Texas. At this time, you should probably pull out your social studies notebook and make sure that you're taking down some of these notes from all of the other links that you've been clicking on in ThingLink. The first thing you guys looked at is your early settlements. All of these lovely little spots on this map are early settlements in Texas. As you noticed, they are all located near rivers and bodies of water. These rivers provided water to the settlers to grow crops, to drink, to feed their animals, and it also provided them with a way to travel. The growth of settlements. Being near these large bodies of water allowed new towns and villages to grow and expand. The new towns and villages allowed Spain to claim more territory, and they offered a lot of incentives to settlers to come and move to the New World. They promised them free land if they could live there for 7 years. People were also able to start a new life. If they maybe did not have a lot of money, or they were a younger son, or they didn't have anywhere to live in Spain, they would come over to the New World, to the Americas, and they would get land here, and they would be able to provide food for themselves and their families. Now, as you can imagine, and as we've talked about before, the European countries were big into competing with one another about new land. They wanted to make sure that they claimed the most land for themselves. And if you take a look at this map, you can see that Spain had claimed all of the land in yellow. France claimed all of the land in blue, and Great Britain or England had claimed all of the land in pink. And the more land that they had, the more that they were able to brag about it to other European countries. So they would literally sit there and write, "Dear King of France, I have more land than you in the New World. Love, King of Spain." And they would just sit there and write notes like this back and forth to each other and trying to prove that they were the best country and they were the biggest country and the strongest country out there in the world. We talked about the explorers a couple of weeks ago, about the explorers wanting to come over to the New World for gold, God, and glory. And as I mentioned last time, or on the last slide, the kings would sit there and write notes to each other. "I have more land than you. I have received more money from my land than you have." And so the kings and the queens of these different countries are writing these back and forth, trying to prove who is the best. And then the Pope, who was the head of the Catholic Church, came along and he kind of gave them the stink eye and was like, what are you guys doing for God? Are you helping them too? And, the Pope would receive some of the gold and glory that the countries received whenever they got this new land. So he was looking to get some of this golden glory as well. And so the countries where Spain especially would be like, "Oh yes, we're absolutely promoting Catholicism in the New World. See, we've got all these missions, all these mission fields and mission buildings out there, and we're bringing Christianity to the New World." So they were kind of trying to make the Pope feel good about them coming over, so he would say, "Yes, it's okay for you to be over there." The second bullet point does say that more land plus more people equals more wealth and power for Spain. And that was true for any of the other countries. So they were constantly competing and trying to expand their territory to prove how awesome and amazing they actually were compared to everybody else. If you need to go back and play this video again, you should definitely have all of the notes written down in the orange sections. If you do not have the notes written down, go back and go through it again. Otherwise, you can go look at the notes section in your asynchronous time in your social studies notebook.